All right, hey there folks, I got a new guitar to show off today, and I have one of the sons of Schreiner and Sons right here with me. Say hello to Nolan. Nice to have you with me, Nolan. Cool. Today I want to show you all this it's actually 1998 Tacoma DR20, spruce top, rosewood sides and back, and that Tacoma headstock. I'm making this first part of a video series today because I want to take a minute to address the seller of this guitar. Now let me start by saying I'm very excited to refinish this guitar. I believe that it's going to be a superior quality guitar, beautiful spruce top. I'm not sure the back, or the sides rather, may be laminate. I'm not sure. The back, I think I've confirmed is solid, but yeah, Tacoma's from 1998. We're not really sure, but what we do know is that good build quality, and typically they are good sounding guitars. What I knew going into buying this guitar is that there would be finish issues. My understanding is that the Tacoma guitars of this era may be subject to the finish flaws. And that is something that I knew about coming into this project. Matter of fact, what you're likely seeing on the screen now is the finish bubbling right here, which I was totally fine with. Same thing on the headstock. You should see some finish issues around the tuners, front and back. Right here, right here. That was okay. There's a little bit more than that, but that was okay. Now I want to talk a bit about how the seller had advertised this guitar, and this video is also for the seller because they asked for me to send a video. This area right here was also listed as having a blemish, which for anyone who knows Tacoma guitars might assume that this was a cosmetic finish blemish, not actual damage to the guitar. So that's the main thing I want to talk about today for a few minutes is, how do you list guitars on Reverd or other sites, but mainly, thinking about Reverd, and are you being honest? Here's where one of the sons of Schreiner and Sons is going to come in, and he is going to read the description of this guitar.
Sounds and plays so good, straight neck, fully functional, some cosmetic blemishes. This guitar was moved, and since the move, there's damage on the edge of the front. The first photo doesn't show it, but the second and third does. Only cosmetic, some can catch a nice price and enjoy the great tone and playability.
Thank you, Nola. So yes, it does state that there was damage, but then it goes on to say that it's cosmetic only. And that's part of where my concern comes from, because this is more than cosmetic damage. Matter of fact, I would say that this is structural damage and does, in fact, have an impact on the playability of the guitar. And I want to show you this corner. This is not just the finish lifting. There is damage from about here to about here. And it is on both the top and the sides. I'm going to show you that now. The top is loose. Purfling is loose, and frankly, it's protruding. This is going to have to be re-glued, which, by the way, coming in through the sound hole and reaching back here is not going to be easy. This is going to have to be re-glued. Frankly, it probably needs a brace or a piece inside to help hold it together structurally. On the side, you can also see the damage. Can you hear that? On the side, there's going to be some work to be done. And that goes all the way back to here. And then all the way up to here. So this entire section needs to be rebuilt, re-supported, glued in, shaved down because it's wavy, right? The spruce is higher than the purfling, which is higher than the binding. The binding is coming loose. This has nothing to do with just Tacoma's finish issues. Nolan, remind me, what condition did they list this guitar in?
Very good.
Very good. This is very good condition, supposedly, and only cosmetic issues. Again, I understand they reference damage, but they said multiple times this is only cosmetic issues. Folks, this is more than a cosmetic issue. This is structural damage. This is an expensive repair, a very expensive repair. And I would not list this in very good condition. This is a fair condition guitar at best. And that is not at all discussing the finish blemishes that Tacomas are known for, which is why I gave a pass when I bought the guitar at the very good level, even though you could see some of the blemishes, because Tacomas are known for their finish issues. And, sometimes I think people just take advantage of people on Reverd entirely, and it's frustrating, and that's why I'm making this video. Hey, Nolan, read the beginning of that description.
Sounds and plays so good.
All right, sounds and plays so good. Guys, I'm not trying to be a stickler here, but these strings are black with age. This guitar has not been played or touched in years. Now, it's probably a safe assumption to assume that this Tacoma guitar plays and sounds really good, but the seller wouldn't know that. The frets are tarnished. They're almost green. The strings are almost black. And that's fine. If this is being sold as a project guitar, I have no issues with that. That is, normal. You could disclose the fact that there is structural damage on the corner. You can disclose the fact that you have not touched this guitar in years and years and years, that the strings have never been changed, that the frets need work. You can disclose all that. But to start your listing off by saying this guitar sounds so good, it plays so well, there's a little bit of cosmetic issue, It got some damage when we moved, but it's cosmetic only. I'm sorry, that's a falsehood. That is not true. This guitar is a project guitar, 1000%. My goal here is to create awareness around being honest and truthful and transparent on your guitar and reverb postings.
Someone can catch a nice price and enjoy the great tone and playability.
Someone can catch a nice price and enjoy the great tone and playability. The tone and playability that has not been tested in years and years and years. Nobody knows what this guitar really sounds like. The fact that it is structurally damaged, but hey, you can catch a nice price. So catch a nice price. This guitar was listed at $650. Even with not knowing that there was structural damage to the guitar, I knew there would be a project, a refinish project. I offered $500. Now, they knew that this was busted, that this is going to require, if I took this to a luthier, this is a $500 repair. They knew that. But instead, they came back with an offer of $580. And then I offered $525. They accepted that. Under the pretense that this is cosmetic only, that this is a perfectly sounding and playing guitar that they have not played at all, and it is damaged. Listen, I don't care that the strings are old. I'm looking forward to this guitar. We're gonna make it sound great. My issue is that people, and in this case, a company, list the guitar, and instead of being completely honest, hey, we have structural damage here, we've never played this guitar, have no idea what it sounds like, and yeah, maybe they don't make as much money on it because, look, you didn't do the work, you didn't fix it, you didn't, care for it, you didn't play it, but they're so concerned with making as much money as they can instead of just being honest on the guitar's condition so that somebody like you or me purchasing this guitar knows what they're getting into. I have experience, refurbing guitars. Most people don't. Most people buy this guitar thinking, oh, it is in great playing condition, it sounds awesome, and it just has a little cosmetic issue. They buy it, they get it in, and they end up with a $500 luthier bill. That's unacceptable. I really want to change the culture. And what did they respond, Knowles?
Hey, thanks for touching base. We have an employee review system where we evaluate and mark or retrain employees as needed. Employees are trained to take photos of flaws. If there was a flaw that was not pictured, please send us a photo. We will take action where necessary and use for improvement.
So, what I take from that is blaming an employee, and then, forgetting that the major flaw is the one that they listed on their site. So now I have to take pictures and send them the flaw that they already know about. It seems like busy work to me. Nolan, what was their next response after I think I mentioned at that point that, hey, is this an automatic response? This seems like busy work. You know what the flaw was at the top. You said it was a blemish, not structural damage. What was their response?
The text of the listing is stated beyond blemish that there is damage on the top of the edge.
So they're saying that the text in the listing said that it was damage and that it was more than a blemish. Go ahead, Nolan.
There may be something missed or something that has happened since it was here. What part of the guitar is the photo you've sent? I cannot tell as there's no reference to orientation where on the guitar. Can you send a photo showing what part of the guitar is still in the photo?
So, this is, again, they sold the guitar. And now, busy work, right? Send me another photo. That photo wasn't good enough. Send me another photo. Guys, it is the same blemish that you posted. Look at your own post. What I'm telling you is that it is not just a blemish, it is not just a finish issue, it is structural damage. They are saying now that that may have happened, I guess, after they sent it. I mean, that's hard to believe. I'll be honest, I believe that they knew. They knew that there was structural damage. They're passing it off as cosmetic simply because in their mind, it doesn't affect the playability of the guitar. Maybe it doesn't now. We don't know. I haven't even gotten into this yet. I'm looking forward to doing it, but I haven't even gotten into this yet. But you're telling me that having this much of the guitar loose from the top does not affect the playability or the long-term playability of the guitar? Like, that's not an issue? This is not just a scuff. This is the top is loose from the guitar, and they knew this. And I don't appreciate them blaming an employee, if that's even true, because this seems more of like a culture issue than one employee made a mistake. Nolan, what was their last response?
For some context on how we create our listings, Reverb's condition guidelines distinguish between cosmetic issues and functional issues. Our staff are trained to classify damage according to that framework, whether it affects the instrument's function or it's considered cosmetic. That's the classification we were using in the listing. That said, if what you're seeing is different from how we evaluated it, we'd like to review it to determine whether we missed something or whether our description could have been clearer. We appreciate seeing a few more photos or videos so we can.
So now it's Reverb's fault. Reverb's distinction between cosmetic and functional, damage or issues, that's their fault. That's the framework they use. I mean, guys, come on. Like, the whole side of the guitar is loose and caved in. And now send more photos. It's busy work. Send more videos. Send more photos. This company that or store or whatever that sent the guitar, they're pretty big. They've got thousands of reviews and a fairly high rating, although it wasn't a perfect 5. I noticed that. It was like 4.6, something like that. And after I made the purchase, but before I received the guitar, I was reading through a lot of them, and there was a lot of folks that are upset if you're sitting at a 4.6 rating. So, and what I noticed from the seller is that their responses all said, "Oh, you didn't send the video or picture like I asked," and then, "Oh, you used violent language or profane language, so we stopped talking to you." So I don't know if that's true or not. I will never use violence, aggressive language or profane language, and I will send the pictures. I will send the video. Here's all I want is please be honest with your listings. I am fortunate to have the skills to repair this. This is going to be a real pain. Again, reaching back through here. I'm not looking forward to doing it. This is going to be a nice guitar when I'm done. I would not have offered what I offered knowing that there was structural damage to the top that needed to be repaired. I think you should be ashamed of yourself for countering back at 580 or whatever it was, knowing that there is structural damage to the guitar. I've looked it up. This guitar might have been worth maybe $500 to $800. It might have been worth that. Now, I thought I was getting an okay deal, not a great deal, but an okay deal. because the lamination wasn't so bad. I know how I will fix it. But, you know, it wasn't a great deal. As it is now with this damage, this guitar is worth $300. $300. I paid $525 plus tax plus shipping, and they wanted $580 from me. You know, it's not fair. It's not right. Honesty is what's going to keep companies like Guitar Center and Sweetwater from being the only sellers out there, because who wants to buy from Reverb if every single instrument you buy, the description is not honest? All right, I digress. We'll finish up here. I took some measurements. You know, the nothing other than this is overly bad. The neck is sitting at, neck relief is sitting about 30 thousandths. Just to give you an idea, it should be 10 thousandths. This was not checked, it was not measured, it was not adjusted. A guitar plays wonderfully, nobody's played it. The action is well over 150 thousandths on the bass. It's well over 120 thousandths on the treble E at the 12th fret. Even the action up here by the nut, the low E it's okay. It's right about 20 thousandths. The high E is high. Should be 16 thousandths. It's it's also about 20 thousandths. Not a huge deal there, but the action here is poor, and that's likely because the neck relief is off. I did not measure the saddle yet. The saddle looks like it has some good room in it. It also looks like it's a little bit slanted. Strings are terrible, need to be replaced, and that's fine. Happy to do the work on it. This is going to be a beautiful guitar, and I can't wait to take you all through the journey. But here's where I'm putting my foot down. People selling guitars on Reverb, especially music stores, have to do a better job of being honest with what they're selling and fully disclosing. I sell guitars on Reverb, not at the volume that this company does, and I haven't shared their name on purpose. But I'm nowhere near the volume. But when I sell a guitar, I make a video. I list every single issue with the guitar. It is clear as day. And hey, guess what? Sometimes that means I don't make as much money on the guitar as I would if I lied. You're a company, you got to do better. Hey, thank you all very much for tuning in. We'll send some more videos around how we fix this guitar and make it a really special instrument. Take care.